All right, it is 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. I do have an added agenda item I'd like to add as agenda item 8F, which is discuss and approve the Neighborhood Assistance Act sponsorship. Yeah, I recorded.
Oh, which?
Oh,
The screen is.
there you go. I would like to add agenda item 8F, which is discuss and approve the Neighborhood Assistance Act sponsorship request for the Connecticut Trolley Museum, or more properly, the Connecticut Electric Railway Association. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So we are gonna, all members are here and present. We'll turn to the approval of the minutes from May 22nd, 2025. Are there corrections?
Pledge of allegiance. Pledge.
I did forget the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you for that. Let's get that.
Flag. United States of America. And to the republic for which is stated, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you for keeping me on the straight and narrow. All members are here and present. We'll turn to the approval of the meeting minutes from May 22nd.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. For discussion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Discussion. Go right ahead.
That would be. Or. The other position, as I questioned about him running, and it didn't go through.
Alternate.
The alternate. So I don't know if you want to correct it here, or if you want to do it, I notice it's on the agenda for tonight to correct that error.
Yeah, I think we just clean it up here so it's reported.
And then on page 5. When we went into executive session. Yeah, we have, but executive session, but we never attended it, so when you go to the next page where it's of the motion that was, that's not accurate because.
The vote on page 6 is, you should not list him as having voted. That is correct. He was initially in attendance and left halfway through. So
No.
Well, I think we should.
And must have- wasn't here either on this page. Yeah.
right, that's the Sousa.
It would have been Sousa and Baker.
Yep.
That needs to be.
Could we have the executive session reflect that I was here for all the items except I recused on the Yagalov FOIA complaint, but I was here for the other items.
I don't believe you were.
I was here for all the items.
You
It was,
know,
Okay, the minutes as amended. Any other discussion or corrections?
Yeah, I have one. 8F. I'm sorry, 8E. So I thought I made the motion. I remember making a mistake when I said physical versus fiscal. Remember, it's like, oh, we got a laugh out of that. I thought I made this motion to appoint the,
I'm sorry,
I think 8E. I thought I was the one that made the motion to appoint the fiscal agent because I said physical and I was wrong, and then I was corrected on that. I don't think, Marie, you made the motion. I thought I made the motion.
That's fine. Any other corrections? All in favor of the minutes as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Staying.
And abstain. Are two items of communication in your packet this week for themselves. We have 2 resignations, and they're wet signatures, from Noreen Farmer, who is resigning as a member of the Board of Assessment Appeals and resigning as a member of the Economic Development. Oh, Jesus. Thank you. We'll go back to that. Public participation. One of two opportunities for members of the public to address the members of the Board of Selectmen. I'll ask first if there's anybody in the room who would like to address the board, and then provide the same opportunity to anybody who's with us online. Apologies for that. It has been a very long day. Is there any public participation? Thank you. Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
Paul Anderson, 89 Main Street. I understand in the rumor mill that social services has moved into the community center.
Moving.
Oh, not moved in.
I don't believe that they're in yet, no.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the rumor mill.
I saw a post on Facebook, which I guess you could say is a rumor mill of sorts, but it was a post by Parks and Rec and whatnot, and saying they're settling in, I think, to the new place. Not 100%, but they're taking calls.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By Tuesday, everybody should be in. But it's a process.
But no,
I'll gladly pay you for Tuesday for a cheeseburger today.
and so the point being that it's being utilized and it's gonna be.
Other public comments? Asking a second time? Asking a third time? Is there anybody online who would like to address the members of the Board of Selectmen? Hearing none, there will be another opportunity later in the meeting. Now we'll turn to resignations. We have two from Mrs. Farmer. One as a regular member of the Board of Assessment Appeals, another as a regular member of the Economic Development Commission. May I have a motion?
I do it together. Regret, I move to accept the resignation of Noreen Farmer as regular member from the Board of Assessment Appeals and as a regular member from the Economic Development Commission.
Is there a second?
We'll second that with regret.
I also regret to see her step off. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just like to say, thank Noreen for all that she's done for the community over the years and all that she continues to do, and I am very sad to see her step down.
Moving on to reappointments, we do have the corrected appointment for Mr. Loos as an alternate member of the Town of East Windsor Broadbrook Fire Commission for a term ending June 30, 2027. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Okay. We have a couple of alcohol exemption request forms. The first one from Amy Donovan, who was looking to have an event on June 14th, the graduation party.
The application for exemption of alcoholic beverages for a graduation party for Amy Donovan on June 14th from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the East Windsor Reservoir.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to point out, I think this is great. It says coolers by applicant only, BYOB coolers, beer only, not, no hard alcohol, but the change here that I think we're seeing now, it says coolers by applicant only, and it says the coolers are labeled. So I think that's a really positive change. So we have good control over what's going on over there. And it makes it much more, I think it makes it much healthier to have these exemptions. But whoever put that change in there, I think it's great.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Donna Labrizzi is asking for an exemption to hold a baby shower on August 16th.
That's fine.
I said Donna Labrizzi. Donna Labrizzi.
Oh, what's that?
Donna Labrizzi.
Make a motion that we accept the application for Donna LaBreeze for August 2025 for a baby shower.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Is she aware that it is only beer and wine and not hard alcohol? Because I don't see any reference to anything like what she's going to be providing.
We can make that clear.
I think that's a good idea.
And I was gonna suggest we take that last language, what I just mentioned about BYOB coolers and by the applicant, coolers by the applicant only. Coolers to be labeled, we take that exact language and write it into this one too.
The other applicant wrote that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
That wasn't written by our staff. That was written by the applicant.
So I was saying whoever wrote it is a great idea, because then you have all the stuff in one location, it's labeled. If the police or anyone has to go through, they can check it, and you don't have multiple sources of alcohol spread out all over the place where you have minors running around and all the rest. So having one spot labeled. So I'm gonna suggest that we kind of adopt this and put it into the second baby shower as well.
I think that we can alter their application, correct?
We set the conditions, so we can
Well,
do
it
that.
says that they agree that they're gonna follow all state and local laws concerning consumption of alcohol beverages will be observed, so we have an ordinance that's out there, that they can do, we can't prove. It's beer and wine.
So this is really clear, just coolers by applicant only, coolers labeled. I'm not sure why we wouldn't want to do it, but if I'm gonna make.
We don't have a policy towards it.
Why not? Why don't we just put it in there? We should do it. It's our decision to grant this or not, and this is simple. I'm not sure what the problem is. Maybe we should just adopt it, do it. This other person came up with a great idea. I'm gonna make a motion that we adopt this language and insert it into the second baby shower. I mean, I've moved to amend the motion to adopt this language in
He's talking about the second one.
the second one, the baby shower.
So you've got a motion to amend to include that language. Is there a second? Asking again, is there a second? The amendment dies without a second. On the application,
Keith, I just don't think that we can insert language without them even being present, knowing they're agreeing to it when they're not here.
And they don't have to agree to anything. We decide whether or not these are the conditions. So it's not their decision. It's us to decide the terms. It's not an agreement, what we're doing here tonight. But I get it. Listen, I made a motion to try to do something simple to improve it a little bit, and there's no second.
I'd be happy to amend the policy. And then that way it's just for everybody the same way. We could go right back and look at that and amend it on the next meeting. And then we can do that. It's just the same for all the rest going forward.
Well, the first line in the application says the use of the ordinance 90-8, 90-8 clearly states that wine and beer only, so, and they're signing this, so I think it's a good idea to keep moving forward, but I think too late for something second.
all in favor?
I,
Opposed?
No.
So I don't see Melissa. So there is an application. I did those. There is an application from Melissa for an application for an alcohol exemption. Not here this evening. I can tell you that this pertains to the summer concert series. If you want, we can forego taking this up until our next meeting, which is the night summer concerts begin. Or we can act on it now in her absence.
I think we should do it tonight so people know what they're gonna be able to do, because the precedent's already been set last year, so.
Okay,
Just the date.
Where is the application in our package?
it is not.
I'd rather wait. I mean, we're going to approve it, right? Make sure it's complete and it's got some of the stuff that,
My own concern, and I know it's concern, the precedent was set last year, and people were bringing alcohol there. And if they come, if it's the same thing, then they're not in compliance.
I get that we're also setting a precedent of, well, I didn't get my application in on time. Can you just approve it for me?
Okay.
But our meeting is at 7. What time does the summer concert series start? 6 or 6:30?
How do we approve an exemption when the application, we don't even have the application? How do we exempt
I
something?
think that's just what I just said, right?
Right, it
It
is,
is
yeah.
exactly what you said.
Yeah.
But could we possibly just call a special meeting just for that one item? It'll be quick, but it'll be doing the right thing.
Sure.
I just don't think it's fair to for the public, come in that day only be told. Stuff like that.
I'll talk to Melissa and see if I can get a special meeting date. So I'd ask for a motion to postpone, 8C, please.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now we're on to discuss and approve town signs at the community garden to include Anna Wassett. Wassett, how are you? Tell us what you got going on.
So. Hi. Two for the no dogs beyond this point, one for the registered gardeners only, which are going to be paid for by the rentals we get for the plots. So this isn't any money we're taking from the town. We have a lot of issues there. Dogs being a huge concern. Why they come over, I don't know, because the park is right next door. It's a little frightening, especially for those people that take their dogs off the leash, because the gardeners are in this position where they're not prepared for a dog coming at them. You know, they're in the ground, they're bent over, they're not like you're in the park and you see a dog coming at you, you can prepare yourself. The other issue is they're everywhere. It's everywhere. You step in it, I'm mowing over it, my mower is covered. So for the registered ones, I'm giving out all the gardeners a pass that they put on their rearview mirrors so that, you know, we know that they're registered, so we can identify them. But we have a lot of thefts, tools, compost, vegetables get stolen. And then this year it was actually the soil from the fields, which was a new one for me. So
People were stealing soil.
yeah, right before the plowing event. So I was freaking out going there and filling these holes in because I was concerned for the horses. So that's it. So we're hoping for some signs, some official signs. Those will have a town seal on it and a please take notice signage on it. And I guess we're just trying anything at this point.
Chief, if there is, and I'm not sure if you can see it from here, but the sign says at the bottom, please take notice. So I have two questions. First of all, does approval for that need to go through the police commissioner? Or is that under your discretion as chief?
The police take notice on something that would be in town ordinance. So if we have to look at.
Okay. Second question, probably related to the first. So in order for the installation of any signage on town roads, that needs to go through the LTA. This not being on a town roadway would not need to go through that. We can just direct Public Works, right? Okay. Thank you.
And then obviously, if there was a violation with the dogs that she's talking about, state statute for that as well, we would only be able to enforce state statute.
22,358, 22,359.
How many signs are you planning on putting up?
Two of the no dogs, one at where they cut through from the dog park, and one at the parking area at the community garden. And then the registered gardeners only, I'm really not sure what that one is. Probably in the parking area, because I think those people are coming in by car.
Last week there was a lot of activity behind the dog park, with people with dogs in that corner area. I've never seen that before. So is that the corner you're talking about?
Yeah, the top of the
The
field.
top of the field, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they actually park at the dog park and then come over.
Okay.
They got the whole dog, and you know, when there's times there's nobody at the dog park.
Yes.
So it's baffling. had some angry dog owners who think it's their right to go there, and everyone tells me it's not their dog. And, you know, I tried to just have them, the dog on a leash, but that didn't work. They're still pooping everywhere. It's like a public toilet. It's really bad. So, and then there's like a food safety issue, you know, you have to, you don't know. And, you know, people are picking, you know, it's lettuce. It's not like something you're gonna cook or, so.
So the relevant ordinance is 98-2, which is an ordinance against the removal of dog waste, and it does have a punishable fine of $50. And it exempts guide dogs accompanying any blind person. Okay, so there's an ordinance that is enforceable.
Is there one, does it include anything with leash?
It's short, so I'll read it in its entirety. It shall be unlawful for any person owning, keeping, walking in possession, custody, or control of any dog to allow or permit such dog to defecate upon the public or private property unless such person shall remove all feces deposited by such dog before leaving such property. Provisions of this section shall not apply to guide dog accompanying any blind person. Any violation of this section shall constitute an infraction and shall be punishable by a fine of $50. The statement of purpose is to promote the public health, safety, and welfare by requiring any person owning, keeping, walking in possession, custody, or control of any dog or to remove all feces deposited by such dog from public or private property. So there's no leash component to it.
It sounds like it may not be enforceable to some extent, but at least the signs will be a barrier. And people that are concerned about respecting signs will hopefully not pass them. If they do pass them, then it might be limited in what can be done. I mean, we all know that. But at least we can, right now, and we probably should create ordinances specifically around this issue. But for now, I think you're asking, let's get the signs up because it's an immediate problem, right?
Yeah.
And the signs aren't posting, it doesn't say $50 fines or anything on the sign. It just says, please take notice. And that's about it.
Well, and absent any postage of signs, there is no prohibition on the dogs being allowed to go there because it's public property. So this is at least one step to solving your problem. As Keith pointed out, there may be others that you need to do, but first and foremost, this is something. Any other questions or comments? I'll ask for a motion.
Go ahead. I'll make a motion. We approve the installation of the 3 signs that were requested here tonight by Anna Wasik.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Please take notice on.
I think that's appropriate, is it not?
So a lot of, if I can.
Yes, please.
So a lot of times, you know, these things can just be education. I mean, we're not a heavy-handed police department that's looking to enforce, you know, on the first time dependent with the violation. I think the deputy chief we were just whispering back and forth there. He brought up the point that we might want to revisit if there's a problem. We might want to revisit the ordinance and see if there's, you know, obviously that's a discussion with you folks and then the town meeting, right? So we might want to revisit for some language that we would. My fear is that if you put the police in a position that police take notice, what does that mean to some people? Some people think we're coming in there to write tickets, and most of the time we're going to try to use education and common sense. But if this is already happening, I think common sense is on board. It could put us in a bad spot.
So do you want the police take notice verbiage on or off?
I don't mind it, but we might be before you to ask for an ordinance or an ordinance change. You know, this is clearly a community issue. It's not a police, you know, we'll enforce what we can enforce, but we can be in a bad spot. I don't mind you. I don't mind if you put it on there.
I would rather have it off.
Okay.
I think if you take it off, you're kind of not having the impact you want to have, which is telling and I think we're not just talking about dog pooping. We're talking about dogs running up on people, talking about dogs that are harassing people. talking about people, going into the garden space, which they're not entitled to go into somebody else's plots, because those are designated for people. I know, I'm not saying it's an ordinance issue or it's a criminal thing or infraction, but dogs don't have a right and people don't have a right to walk into plots. And they don't have a right to steal things from plots and to say, please take notice, meaning, like you're not coming in and you're not going to steal stuff without, because police are watching. And so I think it gives us some teeth. And I think that's what Anna's asking for, is signs that have a little bit of oomph behind them so that we can cut down on some of this stuff. And if the chief doesn't mind it and he just says, listen, our officers are going to have to be educated about it and we have to be careful about what we do when we go out there, but follow the law, right?
It might be more than just a defecation issue. If the police take notice, all right, the dogs are running around and they're terrorizing. They definitely speak freely.
It shouldn't be used as leverage for enforcement. You can also designate. So, agree, and I agree with the chief, maybe us with understanding like what we are, whether our parameters at this point are, we can tell someone knock it off. Dog defecating law is the key, we can still enforce that, but aside from that, I think it would be something smarter. Tailors, canines, roaming canines on the leash, really can't really delineate that, because they'll make our job a lot easier, because everybody else in the bike carrier spot.
What if you just mentioned a point about the limited, you said public forum, but more about limiting people's access. I mean, if there was two signs that said, registered people only, and they were placed on both ends, would that be efficient to potentially put people on notice that that's not a public area for anybody in the public? You need to be a registered person.
I think it's proximity.
I don't know.
And the other thing she had mentioned, theft. I mean, we can certainly enforce, theft and things like that. Your point, I guess it's a greater discussion.
I would just change these, friendly amendment, no dogs beyond this point are allowed, and just leave it at that, and then registered community gardens only, I guess that's fine. Or I would add only allowed.
I'm picturing a situation where, I guess I should say first that I think we should take the police take notice off for now, and we should put this on our list of to-dos and to flesh this out. But like I'm picturing from say it's just a random gardener also reads that sign and gets the expectation that if I see somebody's dog in this garden, then I should be able to call the police and they're going to come and they're going to do something about it. And the cops are going to come, police, and they're going to work the situation out, but not necessarily fulfill that expectation that somebody's getting a fine or something like that, because they don't have the capability at this point in time. So I think we should not, I think it has a potential for creating conflict where it's not needed, wouldn't maybe happen. But I think certainly immediately put up some signage, but we should also deal with the situation.
That gardener catches this person, because I'm pretty sure it's just, I have one chronic person. I mean, there's a couple of them, but one is chronic, like it's a daily thing, because when I mow once a week and I have 6 poops. So that gardener can't call the police when they catch that guy doing that every day. Because if there's a fine now associated with that, then the police should be notified.
There is a fine for that. There's a, right?
The deputy brought up a good point. I mean, we should put in about a purpose ordinance, no roaming dogs allowed behind this, from what that ordinance had said. And if there's not patient at that point, then of course. we can do. I mean, I understand both sides, so, we can only come, we can't enforce it, somebody says, respectively, I'm not gonna listen to you. It puts us in a tougher spot.
So if we said no dogs beyond this point per town ordinance 98-2, please take notice.
Do you currently have a sign telling the general public what the rules are in the, like, if you're not a gardener, you're not really welcome in the, inside the garden plot, or
Two
no
signs.
stealing?
I don't have two signs. Dog park. Say no dogs allowed. Have been, which now I have amended into 5-gallon buckets because last year they stole them post and all. And then brought them back in October and threw them in the woods.
They returned the stolen
They
signs.
returned the stolen signs.
Seems like an extra effort.
And they also stole, I had wrote out signs to keep their dog on a leash, and they stole those too. And then they come back miraculously like a month later. It's the weirdest, it's weird. So now they're in cement, but they do push them over. These things are 100 pounds. It's not easy for me to pick them back up. Get back in the hole that I dug.
Oh, I pictured them in like a Home Depot bucket or something. Do you
Yeah.
actually embed them in the ground?
I don't like, they're in the bucket, but in the ground, but only halfway because there was a lot of digging.
Well, are we comfortable with the chief's suggestion to add the reference to the ordinance?
I think adding the reference to the ordinance is good, but please take notice off until we change the information in there.
Agreed.
I agree with Marie.
I'm gonna just give this to Sabo. So she has it for the record, but, all right, may I have a motion to approve the signage as amended? Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? You attach that to the minutes, please. Okay. Tax refunds.
Move to approve the tax refunds totaling $2,608.03.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're on to the added agenda item, which is 8F, discuss and approve the Neighborhood Assistance Act sponsorship request. Earlier this evening, we held a public hearing to hear feedback on the application from the Connecticut Electric Railway Association for the Neighborhood Assistance Act program. We've done this for them 3 or 4 years now. And what this does is it allows for them, once approved by DRS, to have a tax credit applied to any corporate donation for the specific purpose. So in this case, they're looking to do heating and cooling system upgrades, which are energy efficient upgrades. Once approved by DRS, they can then solicit corporate contributions. Just for conversation's sake, let's say it's $20,000 cost. They can, the donating corporation can then get a $20,000 tax credit offsetting their contribution to the trolley. There were only a handful of public comments at the public hearing, all in support. Again, we've done this for them for a number of years. Any questions or comments? You guys are here.
Yes, we were here. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And there was 3 people, maybe 2 people, 3 people were at public hearing, or in this room, all agreed. I would make a motion that we allow the first one in the sign.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
If any, that has been, the locals, wonderful what they're doing so far. The new parking lot that almost in finished paving, the new fence that they put up, some cleaning of the lines again. So we're gonna get there. Another year or so, it's gonna be completely different.
That was funded through a congressionally directed spending
Right.
award sponsored by Congressman Larson.
Yeah.
Okay, selectmen's reports. A couple of things coming up I want to make sure people are aware of. There is a budget referendum on Tuesday, the 10th. The hours are going to be between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. I would encourage everybody to participate in that. If that is not successful, the charter requires that all budget lines are set at 2% over this year's approved spending level. That will have a pretty serious negative impact
Jason, I
on.
don't think we can do that at this meeting, just to, I don't mean, they're not personal, but we can't advocate for or against a referendum question at a public meeting. So I think we should be careful. That's all. I mean, I think everything was good, but I don't think we're allowed to say, influence the voters one way or another at a public meeting using town resources.
I'll just save it for Facebook then.
But
So the other, on a happier note, on the 14th, from 11 o'clock until 3 o'clock, we'll be having a building dedication ceremony for the community center, which has turned out fantastically. And we're going to have a brief dedication ceremony, and then there will be tours and family-friendly activities and scouting events. And the Lions Club is going to be doing something. There's going to be music, there's going to be food, there's going to be tours. I strongly encourage anybody who's interested to attend that. And then later this month, I think the 21st from 10 to 12 is the annual rabies vaccine clinic that the town does. That's something that Amy Lamb has championed since she's been here. And we typically get between 30 and 50 dogs that are vaccinated at that event. It's free. So anybody who wants to bring their animal is welcome to do so. Marie.
The only thing I have is just make people aware that the Water Pollution Control Authority has put out a legal notice in regards to the, what do they call that? $4,990, what do you call that?
Facility connection charge?
Yeah, the connection charge, they have 30 days from the time of the notice to appeal, if they want to appeal it or not. So I just throw that out there as was the Lee and gone to that area that I think the public aware that's been posted.
Sarah.
The only thing I would like to highlight is the bottle and can receptacle over on Route 140 that Sharon Apria, a member of the Arts and Culture Committee, painted. I don't know if you all have seen it, but it came out really nice. Oh, you'll have to go see it. It looks really good, and another great project that committee has done. That's all that I have.
Keith.
I'm good for tonight. Thank you.
Alan, Wetlands Commission met last night, busier than usual. 2 public hearings for next month. One is 68 Newberry Road, which is next to the Penske property in the park, in the industrial park. A new building is going up there. And then the second is 127 Bridge Street, which many people are aware is the proposed 350-ish apartments and some commercial retail stuff. So that Wetlands public hearing for that is on that same night. That's it.
Can Wetlands approve it the same night that they hear it, or is that continued a month?
No, they can approve the same one.
We'll turn to the second opportunity for public participation. Same rules as before. I'll first ask if there's anybody here in the room who would like to address the board. If you would, please state your name and your address. And then afterwards, I'll provide anybody who's online the same opportunity. Is there anybody in the room who would like to address the Board of Selectmen? Yes, sir. Name and address, please.
Paul Anderson, 89 Main Street, Brockville. I just want to point out that the golfhall.com website has been updated to show that, number one, we're still in business and we always have been. And there is a picture of the community center as it stands now. Okay, and we changed our explanation of the circumstances to be appropriate. So it's more information for people.
Thank you, sir. Is there other public participation? Is there other public comment? Yes, ma'am. Name and address.
Patricia Sherry, Depot Street. Am I in violation of talking about the vote?
No.
In my personal opinion, I think it should be a yes vote, or else everybody is going to suffer on the way. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Further public comment? Asking a second time? Asking a third time? Is there anybody online who would like to address the members of the Board of Selectmen? If so, please unmute yourself, state your name and your address. Hearing none, I'd ask for a motion to go into executive session to include the 5 members of the board, the chief of police, and the deputy. Is
Move that we go into executive session.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session at 7:41. All right, it's 9:34. We're out of executive session with no further business to come before the board. I'd ask for a motion to adjourn to be in order.
Move that we adjourn at 9:34 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 9:34.